There's some stuff coming later. Well, I don't
The
know.
Bears coming
July.
next week.
Yeah, the Bears coming.
Which, Dustin, you should have told us about season 3 of the Bears.
All right.
I'm trying to catch up because someone didn't let us know.
Roll it, Dan. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about it.
All right.
Do it live.
Welcome to another episode of Podjiba, the Podjiba television podcast. As I start the timer, I am Podjiba comedy editor Dan Hamamura. I did not just have to read that off the paper. With me, as always, our Podjiba managing editor Tori Preston.
Have you ever typoed your own name?
No, because
that would be funny. And then read it like.
It's just like that part never changes on my doc, so
okay.
It's been correct for I don't know how long, 200 something episodes.
But if somehow that changed and there was a typo, would you just read it? Like, are you the anchorman? Yeah,
I don't think so. I probably would read if it was like a whole different word. Like if it was just misspelled, I would probably fix it in my head.
Right.
But
like if it was your name, because you know your name.
But if it said, I don't know, Podjiba live comedy editor, I probably would say it. And I don't know what his name says.
Dustin wouldn't correct you.
That's true. Humor me and tell me lies.
Oh, Dan's singing tonight.
Am I?
Yeah, it's a song.
Oh, all right. Dustin rolls. I don't know the song.
Yes, you do.
Do I?
Dustin, sing it.
Say it with more emphasis, Dan.
Humor me and tell me lies.
Yeah, say it twice.
Oh, it's from Blues Traveler.
There you
go. Humor me and tell me lies. Yeah, humor me and tell me lies.
Oh, you just
hard.
Googled it.
What's hard? Yeah, I did just Google it. It's hard because it's not like the start of a verse or anything. So it's
sure, but
my brain didn't know what to connect it to.
Tori did immediately.
Well, that's fair. I don't know music.
It's
not Foo Fighters.
Traveler.
It's not Foo Fighters or Linkin Park. So what
I
am I
how
supposed
you
to do with
expect that Blues Traveler is somehow universal knowledge for everyone.
I mean, I enjoyed Blues Traveler. I probably still do. I've seen them once. They were fine.
I saw Dave Matthews open for them before Dave Matthews was. Well, they were almost big, but like on the cusp.
Yeah.
I saw Blues Traveler after it was in one of those like 90s revival tours. So it was 6 90s bands and they were middle. It was great.
Well, there was a
they were
clip
fine.
last week on Kimmel where it was Blues Traveler and Gin Blossoms doing a sort of mashup together, and it was fucking good.
Yeah, you were in your element with that. Yeah. It was a good mashup. It is weird seeing bands mash up themselves. So I always felt like the mashup was supposed to be like a DJ doing a mashup. When bands go out and just mash themselves up, which is the technical term,
right?
I don't know, but it was very cool for them. I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
So that's why you have Blues Traveler on your mind.
That's why, Why Blues Traveler after you went moshing or something?
I did go moshing on Friday with TK and Nate at a Clutch concert. Clutch is what they call dad metal, which is to say they were real metal, 25 years ago, and now they fill, 1,900 seat venues with mosh pits. And oh my God, like just a kid, like a 25-year-old bouncing around, just like, I don't know how, he just bouncing around, never falls, never just bumps into people and keeps going. And I got hit once and I was two guys like picked me up off the floor and I was
like, I'm done.
Well, I ran back out once and got knocked right back down. I was like, all right, I guess I can't do this anymore.
I like that you tried it twice. I
just thought maybe I lost my balance, but no.
Yeah. So if that's dad
But-
metal, does that make Blues Traveler like dad alternative or dad folk? What is
Blues Traveler?
Blues Traveler these days?
Well, it's not the blues.
Weren't they?
No, it's not.
Weren't they considered alternative?
Alternative.
They were alternative.
Generally, yeah.
So
Yeah.
dad,
Which is
alt.
always, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good.
But
That's
did
what it is.
alternative last long enough to be considered? Like, is there an alternative scene now?
Yeah, it's just again, it's now dad alt because it's all the same bands. It's either literally the music from the 90s, like they're
Right.
still playing Gin Blossoms
Right.
and Live and did you
Okay.
I think I've told
Don't
you this.
say that
311? 311 is
disparaging.
still
Oh, yeah.
a band.
I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
They still make
didn't-
music, new
311's
music.
great.
That was 311 was past my
Past
point.
yours, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not disparaging. Gin Blossoms was great, but it's like, I
No.
mean, you know.
No, you said live with a little disparagement.
Oh, I love
Live.
Live, but like, come on.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, no, I
Throwing
totally. I
Copper.
listened to
That's
that
a
one
good
album. Yeah,
It's
that
so
one
good.
album. I assume they made others, but nobody remembers them. But there was that
Mhm.
one, Throwing Copper.
All right.
Was the name. That was the name. I don't know, because that was my whole thing about Deadlock. The funniest scene in the whole thing is the woman singing Lightning Crashes a cappella at the gravesite. And I don't know why, but to me, that was just like an absolutely beautiful, perfect comedic setup.
Man, I would do anything for a deadlock right now.
They,
Actually,
they,
you know what
they
I-
are making a second season.
Wait, did that
Yes,
second
they
season
are.
never arrive?
I don't think
It
it has
will.
yet.
Oh.
Well, when is it coming?
I don't know.
I feel like
But
the
it-
announcement was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Confirmed in production. Yeah, but when?
I guess they wrapped late last year. So they wrapped filming. So
And Luke Hemsworth is in it.
Oh,
They
hell
got a
yeah.
Hemsworth. Oh yeah.
That does remind me of a show that I started watching today. And
What show?
I signed up for PBS Masterpiece to watch it.
Oh, that's the daddest thing you've ever said.
what's the show?
It's called
You're
Patience.
a dad's dad.
Patience?
Patience.
Is it a
And it
costume
has-
drama or is it one of those like misty mysteries?
No. It's it's not even a misty mystery, and that's why I don't really like those. But it has Lydia Rocart from Breaking Bad. That was her Breaking Bad character name. Lydia.
Oh, yeah.
Jesse Plemons' boss.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like actually a really good show based on the first episode. It was like a woman who was on the spectrum who's finding all these patterns and these murders that look like suicides, and she ends up going to the detective and she like works in files, and she sees all these patterns and takes the files to the detective, and then the detective also goes to like a AA meeting which is like Autistic Anonymous.
Oh.
And she realizes that maybe her son is on the spectrum, and she sort of bonds with him over this sort of like, oh, maybe this is what's going on. Anyway, it's a really good show after one episode.
But you signed up for PBS Masterpiece just for this show.
Just for that show, yeah.
Do you have
Good
to
for
pay
you.
for a PBS Masterpiece?
Yeah, it's like
Probably.
$6 a month.
I don't know. PBS, isn't it supposed to
And
be?
PBS has
public?
like 3 different. They have the kids one, and they have Masterpiece, and then they have another classics, maybe.
Yeah.
I did not
Probably.
know that Laura Fraser, who's from Breaking Bad, I did not know until just now that she's Scottish.
Oh yeah, and
So-
yeah, this is a British show, so it's already aired in
Yeah.
Britain, and they're just doing. I guess that's probably what Masterpiece does. They
But like
rerun
between Acorn, BritBox,
Oh.
and PBS Masterpiece, which I'm assuming I always thought everything on PBS Masterpiece ended up either on BritBox or Acorn because they were
Oh.
the ones selling it to PBS.
Mm-hmm.
It might. Maybe I should go to one of those and get the whole season.
Well,
they're
double
releasing
check
one
because
a week.
if PBS Masterpiece, they may have some kind of like carve out, like when they're airing
Yeah.
something, they get the streaming rights. I don't know. It's interesting because it's whatever. It's weird. How do you
Well,
find
people
things?
watch that show. I wonder. I assume it's on PBS if you have PBS, like
which is free
through your cable, or whatever. However you watch it.
Yeah, it's just in the
I
air.
happened to notice that it was trending on Google, which is why I looked it up and I go, "Oh, that looks pretty interesting," and it was pretty interesting.
Are you going to write about it?
Yes, I am.
There you are. Is that how you decide what you're going to watch? Like, what percentage of your viewing habits are based on genuine interest or based on Google algorithms?
The Google only comes in if I can't find anything else to watch.
Yeah.
And usually that's not an issue because there's so much, but right now there's just not. I have this app that tracks all the television shows, and you probably notice how many shows from international countries I've been writing about, just because that's all I can find.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a weird lull.
Yeah.
Just until Squid Game and Jensen Ackles.
I think next week everything starts to pick up. But even still, all of those are like binge shows. Like in the summer, everybody just, even The Bear is coming out. Another freaking.
Oh, yeah, they're dropping the whole season, right?
Yeah. I think like the biggest weekly is Gilded Age season 3. Oh, and also Sex and the City. Huh.
Well, that's already going. Is that right?
Yeah, it's going.
All right.
I'm not going to watch either of those. But to be fair, I never did.
Right.
So,
yeah. Dustin, don't forget this time to tell us about The Bear, because you've been negligent, I think, 3 years in a row.
Really?
So
really?
I mean, luckily we caught up on the first 2 seasons, but I forgot about the 3rd season.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been reminding you.
Right, yeah.
To be fair, the 3rd season was a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
I'm not. No, I mean, so I am actually catching up finally in preparation for season 4, and I'm not done. So I think I have 2 episodes left. I just saw the birth episode or the pregnancy episode. Yeah. It's interesting to watch because there are definitely, the show still has like incredibly high moments, but it has the feel of a show that no longer has restraints. Whereas season 1 had so many restraints, like financial restraints,
right?
Location restraints, narrative restraint. Like season 1, part of what made that tension work was because it was so stripped down, right? And even season 2, they had all these different storylines, but they're still kind of like, it was still like, okay, we're going to explore everybody's story a little bit. So it still had like a feel of,
this is Richie's episode. This is so-and-so's episode. Yeah. This is the flashback episode. Yeah. But like everything was.
And season 3 feels very much in a way of like, oh, there are no restraints anymore. And so they can kind of do whatever they want. And it's, even though there are, I think, a lot of moments that are really great, it does feel loose in a way where I think when you no longer have any restraints to, no longer have any problems to solve.
Right.
And so that can kind of like lead you to do whatever you want, which can sometimes make it feel loose like this.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I think they corrected that in the 4th season. Well, the trailer for the 4th season is basically they have, I don't know, 3 or 5 or 6 months. They have a clock, and they're like, this is when you run out of money. And then when we shut down, if we don't turn a profit by this date. So they have something to shoot for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it is.
And then we'll forget about it immediately because these fucking binge drops.
Yeah.
Or it's there for me to catch up on a year later, Dustin.
That's right.
I personally have been waiting for the 4th season because I heard the 3rd season felt truncated. So I was like, I'll just watch all of it at once.
That actually makes sense.
Yeah. Well, if I do it. I've been watching a lot of cartoons.
Yeah, you have. Wait, did you watch Scavenger's Reign? Is that one of the ones you watched?
I have not watched that.
My kid is watching that one. Oh,
yeah. It's so good.
It is.
Declan is watching it.
It's very dark and very kind of bleak, but it's very, I don't know, it's well made and interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, Tori, have you kept up with Lazarus? Because
yes, I have.
Okay.
It's finally, the past episode or two has finally like taken a turn toward like, oh, the final stretch is changing up the formula a little bit. There's a slightly different sort of danger, because it felt very, I mean, it was very episodic. Like, you know what the overall mission is, but every week it was sort of like the thing that they're trying to track down, like the lead they're following would be very different. It would be entertaining, but then the lead wouldn't pan out and they're back to square one and the following, and then it was blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So they finally introduced like one bit of plot information that ties into kind of one of the main characters, like the parkour guy that you like, who escapes from prison all the time, like kind of that guy. He, like, while they're searching for the scientist who created the drug before people start dying, the drug company is sending people after him because it turns out when he was in prison, he was one of the test subjects. They tested the drug on these prisoners. And so, everyone else is dead. But because he escaped, he's the only one that's still alive that hasn't been killed off. So like, if anyone figures out how important he is, he could bring down, I think it's like the drug company or something.
Yeah.
I don't see how that's going to matter if the whole world is dying.
Right.
So it's all hinges on like, you know, they're trying to kill him just in case the world doesn't end and like people decide to sue or something. I don't know. They definitely shouldn't have been testing on, I guess, prisoners. But it's a nice little wrinkle. So like he's looking for somebody, people are looking for him. It's all kind of spiraling around.
Yeah. All right.
The action's still good. It's still entertaining.
I had kind of like fallen away a little bit, but then I saw that on Max they now have the Japanese voice cast.
Oh, they do.
So now I'm like, okay, great. Now I'm gonna go back and catch up.
Oh, I should switch over to that.
I don't know if it's all the way through, but at least in the earlier episodes.
Yeah, it's probably a lag. Yeah. And I did finish Clarkson's Farm.
Still comforting.
Sort of. I mean, it's not actually comforting because it's all about how farming is really hard and restaurants are really hard. This season, he starts a pub.
Oh.
And his idea is that he wants to start the pub to feature all British food, and he's going to create a farmers collective because like all of his neighbors are having a hard time, and there've been like 2024 was like a terrible harvest year. Farmers in really bad condition right now. Like so he's like, I'm going to start a pub. So all my neighbors have a place to, rather than working with wholesalers, we're going to go direct from the farms. So everything we serve is going to be grown locally from people we know, blah. But it's also Jeremy Clarkson. And as usual, he doesn't really know what he's doing. And so there's a reason restaurants have supply chains involving wholesalers, because like, hey, when you get down to it, if you use too much of something and that farmer doesn't have more to give you, like your menu is screwed. So like, there's a lot of things. He like had this insane timetable. He bought this old pub, did not rehab it enough to get it. So like there's leaks in the ceiling and the electricity keeps going out and the water like keeps running out. And like, they're trying to do this opening weekend and it's an absolute disaster. So it's, in some ways a little bit like The Bear, like you're watching it and going like, I don't know why this is as tense and uncomfortable as it is. And then he turns around and goes out to do a harvest, and like their entire wheat harvest that was for pasta, because of all the rain, like they couldn't harvest it in time and it went bad. Essentially, like it's no longer useful. Like they can use it as cattle feed, but they can't sell it for anything profitable. So it's that thing of like, oddly, like the show casts an interesting spotlight on like the hardships of these farmers, and it does so while also being like, some of the hardships are because Jeremy's an idiot, but some of them are like, this is what they're up against, and the only reason you're really seeing it is because you have this like millionaire who's deciding to like moonlight as a farmer, and he's doing it with like a semi-genuine, I want to actually give this lifestyle, these people and this lifestyle a platform. So it's an interesting conundrum. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to keep watching it. I can't help it. And he's going to say something horrible before the next season, and I'm going to be like, oh, they're going to cancel him, but then they won't, and I'll keep watching it.
Are either of you still watching Wrexham?
I kind of forgot it was back until I saw your article.
I will someday.
I don't know. It felt so exciting the first couple seasons, but you're right. It's kind of like they just keep winning, and I'm like, I haven't tuned back in.
No,
but I will love it when
season, and that they do continue winning, and we know already that they're going to be promoted again. But what's interesting about this season is that all of the people that we love from the first few seasons are basically
pushed out.
Let go. Yeah,
right.
And it's kind of
Paul Mullins.
He's not. He's basically not even on the. He's still on the team, but he's not even a bench player. He's like below that, and he had an injury, so
Okay,
and
so it's not
been like no. It's been 6 months. He just hasn't been able to get it back.
But also a lot of it is that as they move up, I'm assuming they keep on restocking with
better players.
And getting these hired hands, but we're not really learning anything about these new players. We're still following sort of some of the older players as they get let go. So they haven't really done the work of introducing these new free agents that they're spending tons of money on.
Yeah.
There is something, I mean, I haven't watched in a while, but it would be interesting to see if they try to tell a story about how, I mean, I guess how like cutthroat this is. I mean, it feels unlikely because it's like the in-house documentary.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, that would be a really interesting look at how brutal this climb actually is for a club to do. And like how it taxes the because the players who you're going to end up with are not the players who got you there.
Right. They're sort of doing that in their Wrexham inspirational, like last week's episode began with Rob talking about how he got cut from Deadpool. And then they sort of use that as a metaphor for all of, and it's just
the other,
it's just business, it's what we have to do to keep being successful. We love their contributions and
the successful television star got his like faceless cameo cut from a Fox Marvel movie. Instead of this like guy whose his entire life is soccer, and he's just gotten cut from the team.
But it's his best friend's movie.
Is it?
Right.
I wonder what Glenn Howerton thinks.
It's his business partner's movie.
Always wonder what Glenn Howerton thinks.
do assume that these people that get cut on Champion or whatever League One they're in now, at least will have jobs back in whatever the lower.
I mean, they can get, because like when they go back to, they're going to get hired by the level that they were like another team is going to snap them up because they're a player who helped get Wrexham where they are. It's just not going to be in that tier, which is, but it's also, it's the flip side of the town, right? Like you have this town that has been supporting they come out and they rally around these players, and obviously they just want their team to win. But when you've built, especially the documentary side about how interconnected it all is and emotional it all is, how does that transition work when you're bringing in these kind of hired players from afar who are there at this level that the town doesn't know?
Clearly hired players, but also the town is like rooting. You got to get this guy.
Yeah. No, they're involved.
Because the fans are cutthroat too. Right. They're like, we love Paul Mullins, but he's not doing anything for us right now.
Yeah, we want to keep winning.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, because they're also sports fans and they take it. I mean, that's fantasy sport. Like they know better. They're gonna fantasy league cast whatever. I don't know. I don't know what fantasy sports is.
Did say that they're probably going to plateau next year, at least for a little while, which will be an interesting season to see them not be promoted, because because
the leap to the championship is big, right?
It's too big. Yeah. He said that like they still have a 13,000 seat stadium, and championship league is like 60 to 80,000 seats. It just, the infrastructure is so much bigger. And
that means that those teams just have so much more money too, I'm assuming.
Right. But even in the league they're in now, League One, is that right?
I think so.
they're still being outspent by a lot of the teams. They're just getting lucky and they're good. And I think
Yeah.
I don't know if some players are coming on because it's Wrexham and they want that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I imagine, it's like maybe they take a slight pay cut because they're getting actual, because they might get, it's like, okay, your salary from the team might be slightly smaller, but you're going to get paid also by Disney because of the television appearance because you're in the documentary. And there are residuals.
It definitely raises your profile. And,
for sure.
I mean,
not that too.
No one should be working for exposure, but they are getting exposure in a way that they wouldn't necessarily.
None of the other teams are getting. Yeah.
Except the other team that's in first place in their league right now is Tom Brady's team.
Tom Brady. How long ago did Tom Brady buy a team?
Last year.
Oh,
so he bought in at that level
because
he bought in at that level that was already. I expect that they were I suspect that they were maybe relegated last season or 2 seasons ago.
So Tom Brady decides to buy a soccer team because Wrexham does well. But he doesn't want to do the work of finding a bottom rung team and helping it rise. He buys one that's just off the mark.
On the cusp.
Yeah.
He has made at least one appearance.
Yeah, I was going to say, and happens to be in the same league that Wrexham is in, so he'll end up on the television show without having his own television show.
Basically for Michael Haney to give him shit, which was fine.
I hope he does.
He did. No, he definitely did.
Good.
But self-deprecating shit. He's like, oh, well, the greatest football player of all time, blah, 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 But then also, you suck.
Yeah, you suck.
Which is fair as much as I hate to admit it. I hate Tom Brady like nobody else in the world, but he is the best quarterback of all time.
Why? What did he do? I'm sure it's like touchdowns or something. I don't know.
The problem is that Bill Belichick has kind of lost his mind in a way that now makes Brady, in retrospect, look like the more important piece.
He has more Super Bowl rings than anyone ever. More touchdowns, more yards.
He caught that one touchdown that one time.
Yeah. He was really good. Even though he just threw dunks for the last 3 seasons of his career. But whatever. Those apparently count.
Oh, whatever.
What else were we talking about, Dan?
What are we talking about? Well, first we got to talk about what everyone's drinking because we haven't done that yet. I just have Okinawan beer, Odeon again, because it's warm and that's all I have. Tori, what about you?
I am drinking a canned mango margarita.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. It's fine.
I have the grapefruit and vodka. I was going to drink beer because our friend Nate brought me a lot of beer, but I drank so much on Friday night, I just can't.
So you're having vodka instead?
Yeah, because I don't know, something about beer that's...
It's not sitting right?
No, I was so hungover on Saturday.
Oh.
In a way that I haven't been hungover in years and years and years.
It was like 2 bottles of wine, Dustin?
Yeah. God, it hurt.
Oh.
It was just like, I shouldn't have had those last 2 drinks. No, that was the problem. At the end of the night, I had 2 glasses of wine. For some stupid reason, we went out for burgers afterwards. And I was like, bring me some wine.
Bring me some wine with my burger after my metal show?
Yes.
That was dad metal. Oh, my God.
Well, Dustin, that sounds like a meal fit for a Top Chef finale.
There you go.
I just wanted to talk about it briefly. The Top Chef finale aired last week. Spoilers if you haven't seen it, if you care. Tristan won. It was...
Everybody knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, so this is actually my question for you, Dustin, is that I don't remember, and I could be wrong, but I don't recall a finale that felt so clearly... I don't mean like the lead up. I just mean a finale episode where it seemed so clear who was going to win. Like they couldn't edit their way out of it.
That is true.
Because it's not even that Shuai and Bailey did poorly. Like they all did. It seemed like they all did fine.
Great, yeah.
But the way that they were speaking about Tristan's food just felt like, oh, they're like reaching to try to find something to criticize.
Yeah.
So.
It never felt like a doubt.
Yeah, I was reminded by producer Seth that it felt in Buddha's first season that it felt inevitable. But
that's what Molly said.
But I don't recall. I mean, I just don't remember the finale of that, so I don't remember. But like this one, for whatever reason, it stuck out to me in a way that I don't remember feeling the same way in that season. But
Molly felt very frustrated that it felt so inevitable, and I thought he deserves it because he was the best.
You mean this season?
Yes, yeah. And his dad also died, and if he didn't win, it was going to be a real bummer.
Yeah.
He was very humble and very, like a great winner.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah. I mean, he's like one of the rare people that seemed kind of early on that he had the right mix of talent and creativity and temperament to, as long as he didn't like royally fuck up, that he would have a shot. And I'm trying to think of the people that were technically up there with him. You know, they weren't necessarily creative enough, or like I'm thinking like Vinny. Like Vinny had the lineage of fine dining technique,
right? That
they often seem to
gravitate toward.
Yeah, but he definitely wasn't as creative in the same way.
I haven't watched in a long time, but do contestants on Top Chef tend to like improve over the course of the season, or is it pretty much like, you either have a successful, challenge or an unsuccessful challenge, maybe you screw up, but like ultimately your skills, your creativity, whatever, it's kind of all in lock and you're not really changing. You're not learning from the experience. It's just, can you take who you are and be consistent enough to carry you through?
Yeah.
Because that's one thing, like I've always wondered, because like, not that you want a most improved player thing,
right.
but like, yeah, otherwise if you have someone that talented from the beginning, you're just waiting to see how luck factors in, because otherwise.
Right. Yeah. The Shuai was a huge improvement this season.
Shuai feels like it feels like the ones who improve are more about like they're kind of unlocking creativity that they had kind of put away.
Right.
So that, because like, they all run restaurants, right? So they know what their restaurant menu is. They know how to do that. And not that they're not creative, but I think it feels like, it feels like they're obviously all talented. They obviously all know what they're doing. But the ones who, I don't know, start to get inspired, for lack of a better word, in certain challenges. Actually, the other finalist, Bailey, felt like she improved a lot because she actually got eliminated pretty early and felt like the show was a little overwhelming. Like she wasn't quite able to keep up with the pace of it, maybe. But she won her way back in through Last Chance Kitchen, and then actually once she returned, she was pretty good throughout.
Yeah.
So she at least improved in terms of like figuring out how to use her strengths within the competition.
Yeah.
But
it never really felt like Tristan had.
It felt like he would have to mess up. Like, that was really the way it was setting up.
But it is nice that you do have, like, even if they don't win, like if they're up against someone like Tristan, like it is what it is. But I think for like as a viewer, it's probably a bit more enjoyable to have some of those players who like you actually get to see tangible improvements, like they're there's growth occurring, and you're not just waiting to see what the luck of the draw is.
Right.
The thing that stood out about this season is how sort of touchy-feely the judges have gotten. Like Kristen, she cries a lot, which is fine. But even Tom has gotten pretty like soft in a good way. Like he went back and like after the first course of the final and was like, just to tell everybody what a great job they're doing, which is not something I've never seen.
Mm-hmm.
And Padma was nothing like that.
But she was very composed.
Yes. So the tenor of the show has changed a little.
Mm-hmm. It's
nicer.
Funny to see. It's definitely nicer. And I mean, it is a show that has evolved substantially, not just in casting. Like, the show was born in the era of like, you want your reality shows to have heroes and villains. So they're definitely casting people for conflict on some level.
Right.
And, Tom was the mean judge. Like he was the what's his name from?
He was the restaurateur.
Simon Cowell. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was like the Simon Cowell. He was like the one who's supposed to be like grumpy about your food.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's still fun. It is weird to say that, like, I think Tristan is a really good winner and deserving, but the season is already kind of leaking out of my brain.
Yeah.
Which I guess that happens with Top Chef, but there's another reason why it's leaking out of my brain, Dustin, which is that did you see where Kristen Kish is going to show up next?
Yes, I did, and I'm a little flummoxed.
What, you don't think that she can win the Traitors, Dustin?
No, I don't think she can make it to week 2.
Or she'll be great because no one will ever think anything. Like, I hope she's a traitor.
Mm.
And you find out that her tears are fake.
I don't know. There were some of those choices where you're like, these people are too nice for traitor. Like
Donna
Kelsey. And Ron Funches. You're like, what? That guy's the sweetest man ever.
I think they'll make at least one of them.
Love to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because nobody would think of them. Also, I'm going to be picturing King Shark the whole time.
Yeah.
Who else? So the Traitors, obviously, I don't think it's going to be on until next year, but they announced their season 4 cast. There are a number of housewives. There's Colton Underwood, who is one of the bachelors. Donna Kelsey, who's Travis and Jason's mother. I don't know. I've never actually seen her speak or heard her speak, so I don't know what she's like, but I don't know.
She looks like a nice grandma type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a Big Brother person. There are 2 figure skaters, which is fascinating to me.
No.
Tori's excited about one. I don't know who this person is, but
I only saw. So I guess there was another photo because is it Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski?
Yes.
Yes. Is this
that
why is
okay?
this so
So
exciting?
Do you not know Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski?
I mean,
not really.
They're also a commentary.
Yeah, so
duo, right?
They were like Olympians and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who then and they had nothing to do. They were like singles, and in slightly different time period. Like Tara Lipinski was one of those like really young figure skaters. Johnny Weir came out and was like but then they kind of they became commentators, but together, and it just was like.
Are you a big figure skater watcher?
I used to be when I was younger, but it wasn't even that. It was like me and my roommates would just watch it because the 2 of them were incredible together. Like their commentary. I mean, it's just, I can't even, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. It was like, imagine if, it's like Joan Rivers, but like as a like one of her shows, but it's actually just like talking about figure skaters. But like that level of just sort of like they both know what they're doing, but there's also sort of a gay guy and his like girlfriend kind of thing, right? Like, and I don't know, they're so much fun. They're super fun. You have no idea who Johnny Weir is.
I did not know.
I'm shocked that you haven't at least like recognized.
I've seen his name. I've heard his name.
You didn't know anything about. All right, well, we've got some work to do. But I'm very excited. Like of everything that we've talked about, like going on in Traitors, the fact that the 2 of them together are on it is maybe the first time I've actually seriously considered watching. Like I may tune in, and my friend might tune in as well. Like just because we're like, we got to see what they do on this show.
Yeah.
So that's brilliant casting.
Yeah.
I like that they went from, because my understanding, first season it was reality show people versus normies.
It wasn't versus, but it was half, and the reality show people just wiped the floor
dominated,
with the normies. Yeah.
So normies are out. So then it was all reality show people.
Yeah.
But now it's
then
opening up into
right. But they split up with competition reality versus Housewives reality.
Yeah, it was kind of like Bravo versus
right
competition. But now they're opening it up further, where it's like, okay, you still got Bravo, you've still got competition, but now we're adding in this like third other option, which is sort of just random celebrity that no one can predict.
They have had a couple of random, like they had Ryan Lochte on season 1.
Oh, right.
And he was kind of in there. There's a lane that they've had every season where there's kind of like, I don't mean this in a mean way, but there's one lane for like the nice dumb guy.
Right.
And so Ryan Lochte kind of filled that lane. And then I think, was it last season or season 2? Kevin Kreider from the Asian reality show, I forget.
I don't know, but I know
you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, from Traitors.
Yes.
He kind of filled that lane of being like the sweet dumb guy.
Yeah.
And then season 3, I feel like it was supposed to be, or was this season 2? One of the seasons, I feel like it was supposed to be Bergie, but then it turned out Bergie was smart.
It was the Efron kid last year.
Oh yeah, Efron was supposed to be that, but then it turned out he was smart.
Yeah.
Right.
So, or good at the game at least. That's interesting. Michael Rappaport is very random.
Oh yeah, what the fuck?
I think he feels like the kind of person who's there because you have to make faithful because people want him to be a traitor so desperately, and then he'll just annoy people until they get rid of him.
He won't last long.
I don't know.
He'll be a good
he'd
shield.
Probably be a good shield.
Yeah.
I am. I'm curious about. So of the Survivor people, there are 3 survivors. There's Natalie Anderson, who won Love vs. Water 2. She's also been on Amazing Race. She did well on season 40.
Oh yeah, she was a twin.
Yeah, she was a twin. I'm curious. I mean, she's interesting. They have Jam Jam from 44 or whatever season. Who shouldn't be Carolyn, but that's neither here nor there. The person I'm actually curious about is Rob Cesarino because he has not played in a long time. He basically built like a podcast empire out of Survivor and out of his post Survivor life, but I don't think he's been on a competition show since then. So I don't know. It's just I'm just curious to see what his story is. Like, is it like that kind of story of like, he wants to be back in the game kind of thing, or I don't know. Or is it just he's like he knows it's gonna lead to great ratings for the podcasts, which is also true.
Well, and also like I think there's a big difference between going back on Survivor or going on Traitors. Like, which one allows you to take a shower?
Right, that's true. Also, Natalie did say, I believe on Instagram, even though she said that she wanted to be asked back for 50, but she said they never contacted her. And so I was like, is she on this because they never contacted her, or is this why they didn't contact her?
Yeah,
I mean, they're only filming now, but
Yeah, but they're only filming Survivor right now too.
Well, that's true.
They just started like last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's a lot more people in the Survivor universe to pick through, and they seem to be waiting it with like newer people. So
that's true. But
get over it.
I think it's weird if it's true that she was never contacted. That feels weird. Like, I could see if she was cut early. But I don't know. I mean, she did enough Survivor. She is a winner. She did well on 40. I don't know.
I do wonder how her twin sister feels about her winning Survivor and going on Traitors for no reason whatsoever.
What if the twin won? Dustin, I don't think we're allowed to talk about that. What if the twin had actually done some of it? What if it's like a prestige situation? Where the twin somehow won some of this. The twin goes on Traitors instead of her.
Yeah.
But, also, I don't remember that season well, but I think her twin was like first out on the season she won.
Oh wait, they were both on?
Yeah, because they were on a Blood versus Water season.
Right.
Oh,
And I
didn't
think her
remember
twin
them
was
both
out
being on.
very early.
So
Oh,
it's not
that
even like
hurts.
it can't. It's hard to take it personally when it's like it wasn't even that she had a chance to really screw up. I would imagine it was sort of
You
like
know
bad
she
luck.
takes it personally.
Yeah, twins
Oh yeah,
tend to.
her sister
Yes.
was first out, and then Natalie won that season.
That is
That's
crazy.
tough.
And her
That's
poor
tough.
sister. Oh, God.
Because then it means like, yeah, she's never going to be asked out. No one remembers her. Like she made no impression whatsoever.
Well, they were really good together on Amazing Race. I don't think they won. I think they came in third.
They came
or
in
something.
fourth.
But they were a really good, fun team.
Yeah.
Mostly because every time they saw each other, they went twinsies.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
See,
it was annoying,
sometimes
but
twins get along.
Yeah.
They get over
yeah,
it. Yeah.
they do.
Anyway, we'll be talking about that soon enough. That's not till next year, but I don't know. It's a weird, slow week.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for Dustin to learn all about Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski.
All right, Dustin, what is Revival?
Oh yeah.
Revival is a sci-fi show starring Melanie Scarfino, who played Winona Earp. It's about this small town in Wisconsin where, for some reason, everybody who died in the previous 2 weeks just walks out of their graves and returns to their lives. And they try, it's basically about reacclimating, but at the same time, Scarfino is a cop and her dad is like the sheriff, and there's still some sort of like weird paranormal shit going on, so they have to investigate all of that. So there's it's a case of the week sort of thing, but also sort of a long running storyline on what the hell is happening here, because they're under CDC quarantine. And I don't know, it's very charming. It's not particularly complex. It's a sci-fi show, but she's great.
Is it
Did either of you guys watch Winona Earp?
No,
didn't.
But I did like her on Letterkenny.
Oh, I did not know she was on Letterkenny.
Yeah, she's one of the side characters.
It's weird to me that neither of you saw Winona Earp. Seems your kind of show.
Yeah, I would have. I should have. So is this like a actual sci-fi production, or is it a acquisition? Like, is it a Canadian show that Sci-Fi picked up for the U.S.?
I don't know. I think it's a sci-fi show.
Okay.
It might be a joint thing.
It could be joint too.
Could be that.
I just try to figure, because sometimes that makes not a difference in quality necessarily, but it's more like how much promotion the show gets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why am I just learning about it?
Don't you watch Resident Alien?
I watched one season of Resident Alien, maybe half. It was fine.
Did that show seems to have gotten a big bump once it hit Netflix?
Yes.
That show is still going.
Yeah.
Yes. It's in its 4th season or something.
Yeah. Which good for Alan Tudyk.
Tonally, I suspect this is very similar, which is sort of like comedy, drama, sort of quirky, small town. Zombies. Bad special effects, but in a fun way.
It's also based on a comic book.
And I did see in our comments that my issue with the first episode is that it's kind of hard to tell where this is going to go. And someone said in the comments that was the problem with the comics, is that it sort of meandered and never really had a point. So, I mean, it's perfect for sci-fi. You can run for 2 seasons and end.
Mm-hmm. Or run for 8 seasons and no one will know the difference.
Right. And that's really all I have to say about Revival. I'm sorry.
That's Revival.
Don't have more time to spend on that.
I thought you were going to tell me to watch it. I thought you were going to be like, this show is great. It's the next From.
No, it is not that. But it is entertaining if you don't have a lot of cartoons to watch, apparently.
Well, that'll never be the case.
No.
So what's up with that Stephen King show that's coming? Is it like next month?
Oh, The Institute?
Yeah. Why do you make that face? It was a bad book. I thought it was a good. I haven't read it. I was gonna start reading it because the show's coming, but I thought people liked the book. You're saying it's a bad book.
I didn't like the book.
You didn't. Oh.
I did not. But, well, I don't know if there's a but. I do tend to like Stephen King's less supernatural novels.
But this seemed, so it's kids with powers, but it's not like...
Right.
Is it just the fact that they have powers that's too supernatural for you?
Well, it's not. It's just the power. It's always like with Stephen King, you create these great grounded characters and situations, and then you figure out how to get out of... You write yourself into a corner, and then you just use supernatural powers to get out of it.
Yeah.
That's what he tends to do.
Yeah.
But I'm currently reading his latest Holly Gibson novel, and those I love.
Because they don't have supernatural powers.
They do sometimes, but less and less.
Yeah.
Wait, Holly Gibson's the character who was in Outsider?
Yeah. The Cynthia Erivo character.
Yeah.
Ben Barnes is in The Institute.
Yes, and that for you is reason to watch.
Yes. I don't... Was I supposed to say something else?
No,
he looks great. They canceled Shadow and Bone. What am I supposed to do?
Also,
he was the Shadow and the Bone. Oh, you're going to talk about
went into production today. Wait, you still haven't watched The Pit?
No, I watched the first episode or two.
That's not enough. You keep saying you were going to catch up.
And then I read all the recaps, so I know what happened.
No, that doesn't count. You got to watch it.
It is a good show.
I know it's like a good show. There are lots of good shows. As we proved, there are plenty of good shows I haven't watched.
But this one should be like...
was animated?
No, but it wouldn't have... maybe. Maybe. But I like my animated to have I don't know, romance or fighting or other things. I need big fictional swings.
There's some romance and fighting in The Pit.
How much fighting?
Well, there's a mass shooting.
Yeah, but there's no parkour or sword fighting.
No,
that's true.
No, there's none of that. No.
Yeah,
there is one punch, and maybe some scuffling. Yes.
But there's no One Punch Man.
No.
Oh, see, that's the problem.
That's fair.
I'm just excited that it went back in production in June, which means it'll be ready to go 1 year from January.
Well, yeah, they've said that they feel like they can keep up the pace.
Yeah.
Which is crazy for a show this good.
Yeah, but it's basically one set. It's almost entirely inside.
How many episodes a season? It's 12?
15.
They did 15 season 1.
All right.
Yeah, The Walking Dead used to do 15 a year.
And then split it up into 2 half seasons across 2 years.
Unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Not unnecessarily, Dustin.
Now they do 6 episodes every year and a half.
Yeah. Are you trying to compare The Walking Dead to The Pit?
No. God. Oh. Sorry.
Because...
Hey. There's a cat
you're not selling
my hand.
Uh-oh. Well, your hand did something. It knows what it did. All right. So you still think I should watch The Pit?
I do. Absolutely.
Hi, Pinecone. Oh, yeah. Pinecone looks like trouble.
I don't know what he's looking at, but he's got to go.
He's getting ready to rumble.
Yeah. Not TV related, but Pinecone and Heiko play fight quite a bit, and it's both scary and adorable. Because Heiko will put his whole mouth around Pinecone, and obviously he's not biting him, but and then Pinecone will just he has a stance like he's doing ground defense in jiu-jitsu, which is very funny. But they have a good time.
My cats fight, but only at 4 a.m.
And on your face.
Loudly, yes. Well,
in the bed. Do they come into your bedroom and fight?
sometimes, but usually you just hear him running down the hall and like rolling around and like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
My cat hasn't done it lately, but yeah, when she decides to have her like wild galloping, like playing session, it will be at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and it'll be on the bottom. It'll be through our living room, but because we have an open loft situation that is directly under where I sleep, and there's no wall, so it echoes, and I can hear it, and we're just like, ugh.
Goddamn cats.
Yeah, she runs like a drunk pony. It's pretty fun. But she has not attacked us in bed, so I figured that's, yeah.
Dan, what's left on the list?
Nothing. We're out of
time. How much time do we have?
Technically, we have about 5 minutes.
You realize we could actually end it.
We could just end it early.
We could end it here. You know what we'll do before we end? This is just as a reminder, a PSA.
Oh yeah.
That we are going to start our Mr. Show rewatch.
Yes.
Next week. So we'll have the list of episodes for next week for anyone who wants to follow along. Otherwise, we'll talk about a bunch of random Mr. Show episodes that Tori has curated for all of us.
Yeah.
And
we'll see how the humor holds up for Dustin.
Yeah.
And we'll continue watching Stick.
Oh, right.
I didn't watch more of it. Is it still good? You stuck with it?
Yeah. That's my
You're enjoying
kind of show,
it? Yeah.
It's really my lane. Dad, sports, Bill Lawrence-esh.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
it is.
You're throwing his name around a lot.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Sorry.
I will probably be busy with the Traitors. India has just dropped their first 3 episodes, and that the trailer looks chaotic as hell. So,
oh my god,
when does Survivor Australia All-Star start?
I want to say it's this coming weekend, but I'm not sure.
Really?
Let's see. The premiere date is June 22nd.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that's also coming up. So see, we got TV coming up at some point. Also, if it's the 22nd in Australia, that means that we'll get it like Sunday morning.
Fantastic.
You know what we haven't talked about?
Australia versus the world?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Tori. What's that?
No, keep talking about Survivor. I would just realize something that I wanted to mention really quickly before we end, because we haven't talked about it in a while. But
I think you should mention it because
we haven't talked about Poker Face in a while, and they finally aired the episode with Melanie Linsky and John Cho.
Okay, I didn't see that one yet, but I saw all the ones before. No, we're behind by one. But the last 2 episodes were so good. The hamster.
Yes, I know. Well,
was such a good one.
That was what I'm sorry. I'm not gonna spoil it. But what I wanted to say was, I think it's really interesting now that they've kind of gotten away from the whole like she's being chased by the mob, and that whole thing, and like she's kind of a free agent. And they're in the 2nd season. They're really working hard to like change up their own formula, and I think the gerbil episode was a great example of that. And the Melanie Linsky episode is a great example of that. So they're really trying to like they spent over a season kind of establishing like this is the way the show works. Just in terms of like, when the murder happens, what to expect, and then like how Charlie comes into it. And now they're switching that up and playing with your expectations. And yeah, last week's episode was absolutely phenomenal from that regard. Like, there's a couple of nice little twists, and I won't spoil it, but I can't wait for you to watch it because it's fantastic.
Very excited. Like the Sam Richardson episode was fantastic.
Yes, that one where it's
mostly
all kind
because
of
mostly because the whole time you're sort of hoping for Sam Richardson to get away with it, but also he shouldn't because he definitely
he shouldn't have, but It's Sam Richardson. He didn't meet. It wasn't really him. Although the sword thing.
Yeah. Well.
It was such a, but that was one of those episodes too, where I wonder how the casting works for the show, because I'm not saying no one else could have done that part, but it was so much better with Sam Richardson.
Yes.
Like, he is the kind, like, his style of comedy and what he brings to the table, like, that is exactly what I would expect of him, I guess. And so I don't know. I think it's interesting when the show feels very tailored to their guest stars in a way that, like, did they already have the person signed up? Or, you know, although I don't think it's hard to get people to agree to do Poker Face at this point. But similarly, I'm telling you, Melanie Linsky and John Cho together.
Okay, I can't wait. Yeah. I feel like this season may be better than the first. Just, it's more fun.
It's more fun. I think I was worried going into it because they had, the whole trailer was just the guest stars, right? And so you're like, oh, all they have going for them is the giant, you know, the big names that they're attracting. And it really isn't that. It's like, it's a little bit looser there. And I think a lot of it does come down to, like, because of the sort of framework justifying Charlie's journey, they also were kind of locked into a very strict story structure.
Yes.
That was a throwback to classic, you know, Columbo or Murder, She Wrote or whatever. But now it's like they have the confidence and the freedom to, like, because Charlie's excuse to be there is no longer as
by
established. By necessity.
Right.
They can be much more flexible, and it's evolved into some. It feels very loose and free and fun, you know, and there are more unexpected storylines. Yeah.
And Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, on the radio. We still haven't seen him. I love it. This season is so fun. But that's the thing, we're not talking about it. Why aren't we talking about it?
I don't know.
Because it's great.
I'm not, just because I'm a little behind. Because it's a family show and Veronica Mars is on too.
And I haven't seen season 2.
You have so much to look forward to. I'm so jealous. You get to experience it.
Those two perspectives are a perfect way to end, because, of course, Dustin would be that guy. We'll be back next week with, I don't know, more TV, probably. We'll have at least Mr. Show to talk about. So,
yep.
Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.